Hello and welcome back to the Reaper. So, a tactical debrief. I haven't done many of these recently because I just don't get time at the moment, but it was quite a small mission and I've got a minute, so let's quickly blast through it. So the mission is, we have the Blues here, start at this base here. We have 3 Eagles, 2 Harriers, 2 Vigans. Our mission is to fly 100 miles to here and bomb some ships in a port. Stopping us is Admiral Kuznetsov there and 4 times Su-33s under Redfall control. So let's us blast through. Let's have a look. So first of all, obviously we send our cap cover up 30 miles ahead, then the Harriers and then the Vigans come later. The reason we send the Vigans out later is because they're a lot faster than the Harriers, so they'll catch up and get roughly the same or exactly the same time on target. Okay, so it's us boys just flying formation here, and let's hurry that forward. Right, so we see hostile contact, or we get it the call from our AWACS, go to tactical spread, so that's half a mile at least between each plane, and then we split there. The reason we split there is we see that there's 2 pop-up groups, one to the right there, one to the left there, and we have to commit to both of them, otherwise our package won't be protected. So 2 heads out towards these 2, and 1 and 3 head out towards these 2, so we'll probably have to watch one fight at a time, so I guess let's do these. Right, so Merlin is ordered to head back at this point, so what we want to get, we're after air superiority here, we're not interested in killing Sukhois really, so Merlin's going to head back, Cap goes in forward, and what will happen, I've just dropped my bags there, I will take a shot and then head back, and as I head back, Merlin or 3 will turn back and cover me, and we can get a chainsaw going like that. Right, so here's our target. It's 30 miles away, so what you should expect me to do is bags off 700 plus knots and into a left or right crank. There's my left crank, so I'm offsetting from this line, from the direct line here, by exactly 40 degrees. You really, when you crank, you really want to get that 40 degrees there. It nullifies any missiles that the hostiles will fire at you, basically. So heading in, we've got our 700 knots. You can see the hostiles are struggling for speed at the moment. If I knew they were struggling for speed like that, but I noticed it when I was flying, I would have gone in and killed them. But I didn't realise what speed they were, so I've just played it safe. At about 12 miles, I turn in for the shot. That's 12 miles. Turning in, getting ready to fire. At 10 miles is optimal. Well, actually, no, they're flanking. I didn't realise they were flanking at the time. So 10 miles would be for head-on, but for a flanking target at these speeds, at these altitudes, you'd need to be within kind of 8 miles standard chance, so I fired too soon, which is an error. So let's carry that on. So I've got a missile. Also, you can see I didn't lead the shot. I should have fired out at this angle to lead them. Again, I didn't realise at the time they were they were flanking. So never mind, they will be useless shots, but at the end of the day, I don't need to kill them, I just need to keep them busy. So, and then that's me into a 700 knot split S, which is a perfect way of getting out and make sure there was no danger. Rather annoyingly, if you watch the video back, there was a smoke trail coming from these hostiles, and I thought I'd been fired on, which is the reason why I got out so quickly. Otherwise, I could have got closer and killed them. But safety is always the most important thing, much more important than getting kills, saving your airframe. So I'm heading out. I now call Merlin in. You can see he's turning in on the overlap. He's been going slow, but that's okay. When you're backtracking, you can save fuel. He's going to speed up now, get his burners on soon, and he'll come in at 700 knots and cover for me. These 2 guys have beaten the missiles easily because I fired them 3 or 4 miles out too far. Okay, I don't think there's much to watch there for a bit, so let's watch what Signori did. This is interesting. I'm not sure how he's got himself in this situation where he's 4 miles away from the targets, but let's go and have a look. So Signore finds his target. They are 46 miles away. Let's speed up a bit. So he's going to put himself on a crank. You can see he's got his 40-degree left crank there. That's perfect. Hostiles haven't seen him at all. Not sure why these hostiles were unaware of what's going on. They should have seen the, at least seen the jam from Signore, but Signore seems to have slipped by. Another use for the crank, you can slip by sometimes like this. Okay, he's just making small adjustments here to make sure he keeps his crank at exactly 40 degrees, doesn't want them to slide outside of the radars. Left to right attenuation. And it looks to me that is above 40 degrees. I get the horrible feeling, he might have lost them off his radar there. Let's see. No, I think he's got them. So they have indeed spotted him, and the two flank... No, maybe I'm wrong, hang on. No, they haven't spotted him. That's a failure. So Signor is in excellent position now. Still on the crank. Okay, it's turning. He's only just dumped his tanks there. No, maybe I'm wrong. It's 700 knots. No, I'm sure he dumped his tanks earlier. That's fine. Right, so it's 12 miles now, so he's got to turn in for the shot very soon. Not sure how he's got in this weird situation where he's kind of flanked out to the side. Maybe because he was cranking so hard, and because these guys were also not on purpose, but kind of cranking away from him. That's the only reason I can think how he's kind of got around the side here. Because a normal crank, like you saw with me there, catches them head on. So, well, either way, it's worked out for him. 800 knots, turning in. He's going to get a lovely flanking shot. Because he is flanking and we are low down now, he's going to have to get pretty close. Yeah, probably 4 or 5 miles to get a flanking shot like this. And I think he sees that. Doesn't want to leave it too long. Now the only error here is he didn't lead the target. You kind of see he was still cranking away. He was still cranking when he fired the shot, which means that shot's got to do a lot of work to bend onto the target. So that is the only error, but the distance was good, 5 miles. Bearing these guys are flanking when he took the shot, so he should be okay. So now it's just a case of him turning right, burners out, or getting another shot on this guy. But really, he doesn't want to be this close. We're not trained to get in danger. He should be getting out. Okay, the missile did have enough energy to change track. He's got merge. He's fired on that guy again, but the first missile hit, and he's... Oh, I see, he's quite a lot higher. Yep, so that's okay. He's essentially merged with this guy. Luckily, Wolf Shadow didn't see him, otherwise that would have been a definite kill. It's turning away. I would have personally turned this way, bearing in mind the hostiles were coming kind of this angle. I would have turned this way to run away, but I guess this is good enough as cold. I'll speed that up. His burners on the deck, 700 knots, exactly what he needs to do. And there's no chance that Wolf Shadow's going to catch an F-15 up like that, so that's a good show. Now, does he make a mistake or anything? Because I know he gets in trouble. No, turning away, that's all good. He's probably got the nails from this guy. 6 miles, so he's clean, and he's clean out. And he's turned around, so here's where the mistakes start happening. So he's turned around. Now what was that about? Let's try that again. He knows where this guy is. He knows exactly where this guy is because he's going to get a nails. He's going to get an RWR warning. So why would he just turn straight round? He seems to turn around on a kind of 180 degrees. ET missiles, it was a pretty good shot, so he won't get a warning that missile's out. I think he spotted it at the last minute and he's turned it out. So the mistake there was he was heading out, he had a hostile on his right. He knew the hostile was close because he could tell by his RWR, so he shouldn't have turned back into the hostile, should have just kept bombing out to us and asked for air support from 1 or 3. So he's going to get himself in trouble. The ET missed because he had good evasive action, spotted that out the corner of his eye, which is nice. Now here, it's just got to, and it's really hard to do, but he's got to believe in the power of his F-15 now. The F-15, it's a lot cleaner aircraft than the Su-33, and they can easily outrun it. So all he has to do is a straight line and just fly. He knows he's in trouble, so straight line and just fly forward at max thrust towards our base, and he's completely safe. Don't start wiggling or anything like that. this guy can't catch up. And you can see that distance is increasing, 4.9. There's nothing this guy can do to get a missile to this guy. So as long as Scenario just stays sensible, but he's not. He's going to start turning. He's going to start burning his speed off. Yeah, he wants to turn back into combat again. So you can't do this. If you're being chased by a guy, and he knows he's being chased by a guy, you can't turn. You've got to just go and run, especially if an F-15 that's designed to outrun anything else in the world. So he's not using his plane properly at this point. He's going to get himself in trouble, and he's going to get hit by this, or he's going to be very lucky to dodge it. No, just dodged it. So 3.5 miles shot that would have been. Again, just stay on course and run. Don't be impatient. Harriers cross over. Don't turn. Remember, never turn when you're being chased unless you're being actually fired at and there's a danger missile. If you have to turn, you make an extremely wide radius turn, so there's almost no turn at all. Otherwise, if you do a turn like he's done, the hostile will catch up. And he's put himself in trouble there, so that was an error from being impatient. Right, on the plus side, support is being called in, Cap's coming in, so he's just got to survive for a few seconds. And he's doing it again. He's turning. Stop doing it. Okay. He's gonna. It's his own fault. There was no. Let's just go back there. There was. Yep. So I'm coming in here. He's not being fired at. He doesn't need to do anything stupid. And he starts turning. He starts putting G in. And he's burning his speed off for no reason. That's going to give All Shadow a shot. He's got to stop doing this. Just be patient. More turning, and that was before the missile was fired. So it was just turning for the sake of turning. And that. Yeah, and he's over G. Let's see what G. So it's all just kind of young man syndrome. Has to whack and pull on that stick every chance he can. Can't just leave it still. Got to leave it still. Got to do mature flying. And that's 12 Gs. 15 Gs, yeah. That's a broken neck there. Okay, so that's that. Let's analyse. Cap is in. Pretty simple AMRAAM shot. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. I think the missile might have hit. I don't see why he would have crashed on his own. I imagine the missile probably did hit there, and it was just a bit buggy looking. Right, so that's that. So lots of stuff to be learnt there. Right, so we're back in action now. Cap's getting fired at by Skate Dreki. 24 miles, no threat, it's just a posturing shot. So far away, I might not even get the spike I might not even get the warning from that. So I've found my target again. So it's now rinse and repeat. It's bags off, burners on, get altitude, crank left or right, 40 degrees. All these things have to be done if you want to win the combat. So found him 20 miles, got my 40 degree crank on. In we go. Also got a guy down here. I didn't know about this other guy, I don't think. So that was potential danger there. But the crank's going to keep me healthy. So actually, I don't know who I'm going for. Maybe I'm actually going for this guy. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going for this guy. I can tell because I'm turning in at 12 miles. So let's just roll that back just a smidgen. Right, we've got everything right here with 750 knots. We've got our altitude at least the same as the other guy. That's important. Going to hit 12 miles, 13 miles. Sharp turn in. Pull the G for the turn in. That's 8G there. And we're going to get a missile off at 10 miles, which is pretty much optimal. Hostile fires on me. Can't see what that is. That's an ER. So that's just a trade of radar missiles there. So both of those are dodgeable. We've got some long bombing from Merlin there. Those certainly aren't going to hit anything, but there's no reason not to do it. It's going to keep him on his toes at least. Both guys, excellent pull out. Cap, that is. Hopefully I've done a good example of a pull there. Let's have a look. So that's Cap's split S, 700 knots. Yep, we peaked at 9G there. That's exactly what you're going to do if you want to survive and beat missiles, 9G. Now look at this guy, 6G. It's a bit looser, but he isn't a flanker. Flankers don't like big G at high speed, so we can let him off with that. It's enough to dodge my missile. Or is it? Or is it? just. So some pretty good air combat there. Everyone needed to do what they needed to do. We're keeping each other busy, and we're both surviving. Merlin took his shots and headed back. That's all good. We'll trade back in hot soon. We've got a bit of a red chainsaw here, so this guy's out, this guy's in. But the distance is 18 miles. Cap is safe, and you see, and this is a good thing to learn. Going cold, you can go slow if you're sure there's no hostiles behind you. If there's the smallest chance that there's hostiles behind you, burners on, don't take any chance. And you can see here, I'm not sure here, so I'm burners on 800 knots, and again, I'm not messing around like Signori, I'm straight out for 20-30 miles. Don't wiggle around, don't piss about. The hostile will catch you up and kill you if you do that. Straight out, 800 knots. You've got to do that if you want to survive. And you can see Skedrecki's got no chance. He knows he's got no chance of catching me up 800 knots, and he's going to bail out. I'm going to keep going out. Not going to take any chances. That's why we're still alive here. I've called Merlin back in, I imagine, here. So he's going to get on the overlap. He's going to go in now. At some point, Cap's going to turn in and go back on Merlin's overlap. So, no, Merlin's background. I imagine he's just covering me. I'm not sure. Right, that's that. Any other combat? So Cap's, I've been 30 miles out. I've made sure there's no hostile. Now here's the problem. By going out and doing our job of staying alive, we've left these guys a huge window of coming to kill these ground attackers. And it was very good thinking from these two here to come and kill our ground attackers. And there's not really anything we can do to catch them up. They're on their way. Burners on 600 knots. We're 30 miles behind. There's nothing really we can do. One of the bad things about all this cap flying, all this decent flying, is that we've burned a lot of fuel. That's the thing about optimal combat. You will burn a lot of fuel at 800, 700 knots. So you only get 2 or 3 attacks. After that, you're on fumes. And that's the problem now, is that we can't catch up. I'm down, having to save fuel to see at 400 knots because I'm bingo. So never mind, that's how it is. Now these guys, the error with these guys here was that they stuck around, possibly not static, but they came in and they brought weapons where they had to stick around. So they came in and they brought weapons where they had to, apart from Auntie, I think, shoot and then come back and then go back in and shoot and then come back and then go back in and shoot 3 or 4 times, which is a really bad thing to do on a heavily defended target. They would be served much better just having some bombs to do one run, bombs, supersonic out. Then they would have lived. Again, I think Auntie's exception. Auntie did bring just the bombs off, but she just laboured so long. Look at that, big, slow arcing turns. Should have been quick turn and out, and she would have got out. So she took too long to get out. These guys brought the wrong bombs. They had to go back in. Static just unlucky. She almost made it out, look, but just not quite in time. A couple of miles ahead, she would have made it. So that is going to be missed out. Obviously, it's not much of a fight there. Good acquisition from Skay there. Udarosa, good teamwork, goes in for the Vigans. Again, I think the Vigans shouldn't have been there. Stahl, really bad flying today, 180 knots. Don't know what that's all about. And I don't think it has any missiles off either. Right, so Udarosa is in. He's going to make mincemeat of Stahl, 180 knots. Goes for blood instead, by the looks of it. Yep, goes for blood instead. Pow, easy pickings, no defence. Cap can't get there. None of the ships killed yet. Urosa gets himself in trouble because Stahl is so slow, horribly slow. He must have burnt his engine out. I've never seen a Vigan that slow before. Because Stahl is so slow, it's a nightmare for Udarosa. All he can really do to get that slow is to high yo-yo up and then back down on him. But instead he uses, he just tries to keep his vision on him. But there's very little Udarosa can do to kill this Vigan at the moment, as it stands. It's a weird scenario to be in. On the other side, there's let's see what happened to this Harrier here. This Harrier here spotted Skadrecki, which is nice work. And he's pumping missiles at him. The Harrier doesn't have any range information, so I don't know. Well, he didn't get a lock. Neither of those missiles had a lock. They just flew straight. So there's some bad missile shooting. I'm not sure. how that happened. Completely the wrong way, look. Interesting. Okay, anyway, let's carry on. Are we in fast? Yeah, and I wonder it's getting a bit fast for me now. Let's try that again. So Uderos is in trouble. He's going to have to turn around. He's going to struggle to turn around to get a shot on. These weird shots have gone nowhere. See, Uderos is going to get himself in more and more trouble. Merge from Skay and see. No, scratch that. Skay is trying to merge with Starl again. Starl's so slow. Skay can't merge with him either. Oh, a hit. Look at that. Got one on. Yeah, you can get. Ah, my mistake. I've just noticed these are not air-to-air missiles. They are Mavericks, so it's excellent work from Seethor. I thought they were Sidewinders for some reason. So that's going to be some good Maverick hits like that. Didn't spot that in the video. And a kill shot. That's got to be man of the match from Seethor. Kill in a Harrier, dogfight kill in a Harrier, and 2 hits on a ship. Pow. It's pretty impressive. Skay's still struggling. There's a slow Vigan. Again, there's not much Skay can do. Up high yo-yo is probably his best bet at catching this Vigan. Vigan almost has the speed to turn around. I imagine the Vigan lost his engine way back here. He must have done something wrong with his jet. Dumps his ordnance, but he's out of the game. He's all out of airspeed now. He's going to have to go and crash land. Seethor, man of the match, is heading out for his victory. I think that's everything. No, it's not everything, is it? Right. So Caps finally getting here. I'm on like 1,000 pounds of gas or less. Unfortunately, I'm way too late. So most people are dead now, unfortunately. Let's see what range this is out of interest. Now, I'm probably going to put a posturing shot. No, that's a genuine kill shot. So I've come in. I've not cranked this time because the hostile wasn't a threat to me. He was turning away, and I probably didn't have the airspeed to crank, so I've just gone straight in. Something between a posturing shot and a kill shot. All I want to do is keep the guy busy, really, so that these guys can get away, or what's left of them. But Skay has made a mistake. He's kept his airspeed way too low, and he's not seen this missile coming. And he's going to get hit. He should have turned around ages ago when that missile went pitbull. He's had a shot at this guy, but it's asking a lot. And I think he's hit by that missile there. ET and ER, that's no longer guided, and that was fired too soon. Merlin's fired at his burning carcass, and Merlin's heading out. And make sure Cap doesn't get hit by that missile. That's a dangerous missile to fire. So okay, it doesn't seek. Lovely. That's it. So it's good stuff, some bad stuff, as ever, always happens. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.